Testing to make sure that my audios are right. All right. I say it every single time. I'm just wondering, like, on some real stuff. You know what I'm saying? Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Did ya? I said, did you miss me? My fault. I got a little aggressive. Hello. This is episode 19 of the podcast, the best podcast I'd say ever. You know what I'm saying? It's my podcast. Hello and welcome to the Zoom Out Podcast. My name is Vaughn Johnson Baptiste. I am a college student at the end of my semester, and I can confidently say I am so happy that anybody decided to come in and listen to this audio diary of mine. Today, I would like to tell you guys that I appreciate all of you once again for stopping by and listening to me ramble for maybe like 25 minutes today. I don't know. But happy Thursday, y'all. It is Thursday at 2:00. And I'm appreciative of anybody who has been constantly listening over and over again. This is kind of a thing that I wanted to do a while back, and I kind of just, I'm back. I'm doing something that I enjoy, and you guys are here listening to me. So today is a day that I wanted to talk about, something that's been kind of stewing in my mind. But before we get to that, I want to say, make sure you guys are tuned in. I'm going to try to post a little bit more on my IG, the one Zoom Out Pod. Please go ahead over there. You know what I'm saying? Tell me how you like the stuff in the comments and all that type of stuff. Go follow me. I will be posting stuff on the stories and all that type of stuff so I can get, some traction on this pod. But I think I'm feeling pretty good today. I've gotten into this rhythm for the past today and yesterday of trying to get better at waking up early. My sleep schedule, because of the spring break that we just had, it has been, for lack of a better word, downhill. I'm gonna be honest. I quite literally I was going to sleep every single night at 3:00 in the morning, and that is not good in the slightest. But yesterday and today I woke up both times. I believe at 7:00. This time I actually got out of bed at 8:00. Normally I wake up and I'm super drowsy and stuff like that. But I actually felt better today. I've had breakfast for the past 2 days, which is not normal for me. But yeah, I'm basically just saying, it's going very well for me for the past 2 days, and hopefully I can, let it keep being that way for the rest of the week. It's Thursday, so might as well do that. I hope you guys are doing well as well. Please let me know in the comments how you guys are feeling today and all that type of stuff. But to get into what I wanted to talk about today, I don't know, I was sitting here and thinking about just what I wanted to talk about today, and I kind of started thinking about coming back to self. And what I mean by that is throughout this entire semester, I've kind of been trying to get back to being, very productive and very creative in multiple different ways. And, I realized that I was kind of at a setback for a long period of time while I've been in college. And I feel as if I'm finally coming back. And I feel like it's just something that I feel like I'm going in the right direction now. I feel like I'm now, granted, this is very small incremental growth that I'm currently doing, but I'm at the point where I just recorded stuff for my capstone that I've been talking about for the entire duration of this podcast. If you guys haven't if you guys don't know about that, I'm basically doing a capstone project on basically my my struggle with imposter syndrome and feeling like I didn't even deserve to be in college. And it's hopefully going to be a video that multiple people can relate to and can also get some advice from, because that's also what I'm going to be giving out on that video. But yeah, I just feel like it's something that is going to be a helpful video. So I just got finished making some stuff for that, and I'm kind of currently in the prior editing process, or the production process of being able to start my editing back, because I haven't done that in a minute as well. But yeah, so all of that was in my mind just now, and I kind of just thought about like the growth, like being able to have something happen or just be in a rut for a while and finally being able to get back on the horse and keep going. So due to that, I actually thought about it, and I looked up this quote. I wanted to find like a good quote that had to do with that I could like think about and maybe expand more if I have anything. And the quote is actually from someone named Brian Tracy, who says, "The comeback is always stronger than the setback." And the reason why I picked this quote was because I felt as if, in so many words, it speaks to a lot of different things. I believe the entire idea of the setbacks being like weaker than the comebacks is always going to be something that rings true, because I mean, everyone has setbacks, everyone has problems and stuff like that, but the thing that is really important when it comes down to it is being able to jump back from that issue. Like, say if I am currently having a moment where I don't know, I messed up something bad. I got a bad grade or something like that. And then I'm like super down the dumps about it. It's not going to help me if I just sit here and wallow in self-pity about it over and over again, because nothing's going to change in that regard. It's just going to be something that genuinely just drives me into a spiraling moment where I don't do anything about it. I am hating myself about it. I am beating myself over the head multiple times about it, and all of these different things, and it's better to actually go ahead and try to come back from it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you got that bad grade, or yeah, you messed up on something, or you miss a deadline for something. There is always room to actually come back from that. There is always going to be a time frame where you are able to actually get back on the horse. Like I said, being able to have that mindset is going to help you. Like, there's only so many times where you're going to sit here and be upset with yourself and all that type of stuff. And that is all well and dandy. You can do that. But the real question is, what are you going to do after the fact? Are you going to go back and do the same thing and just have a nonstop cycle of you being upset and you not doing anything about it? No, you're not going to do that. You're going to be like, all right, what did I mess up? Okay, that is when I messed up. Let me not do that again. Let me try to make it better. And if I mess up again, okay, sure, I can have that moment again. It's the most important thing is being able to dust yourself off. You know what I'm saying? Get back up when you get knocked down. It's something that is going to help you, rather than just egg on the same nonsense that you've been doing the entire time. And I think I also talked about this actually in my capstone project. If I'm remembering the script correctly, I'm saying that there's always going to be that negative voice in your mind that is going to constantly tell you that, oh, you're terrible because you did this, or you're the worst person in the world because you did that wrong, or anything like that. And the easiest thing is to sit there and, oh, you're right. I'm really such a bad person. That's so terrible. That's not going to help you. Stop sitting here and wanting to constantly deal with the same stupid ideology over and over and over again. You're keeping a negative mindset in your mind. Now, granted, you could have been grazed off people saying that type of stuff to you all the time. But the important thing is learn when to listen to them and learn when to not listen to them. You're going to let's paint a picture real quick. You're going to sit here and let another person tell you how much of a terrible person you are and how much of a worthless individual you are. They're not sleeping in that bed with you when it's nighttime. They're not looking at the same person that you are when they're looking in the mirror in the morning. They're looking at an entirely different person who has their own shit going on. They're not even doing anything outside of just trying to rain on your parade. Are you really seriously trying to tell me that is something that is conducive to who you are actually? That's not who you are. So don't sit here and constantly tell yourself that you're this, that, and the third. Get up from the setback and show that person who you really are. Like there's a whole thing that's like people saying my haters are my motivators. Can you people actually take that into account? Like genuinely, if you are listening to this podcast, I want you to genuinely sit here and understand there is two truths in this life, life and death. Go ahead and live your fucking life. Don't sit here and constantly let other people tell you, oh, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. You don't even know this person. Or if you do know the person, you're not the same. They're not you. You're not them. Don't sit here and try to constantly tell yourself, no, they're right. Why are they right? And if your answer is, I don't know, that's the incorrect fucking answer. Do not listen to that. Because if you are going to constantly sit here and do the same shit over and over again in your mind, and you know as a fact that that's not helping you and that's not conducive to what's going to actually help you in your life, don't listen to that. What are you listening to that for? Somebody sitting over here telling you that you're the worst person in the goddamn world. You're the worst person to ever even exist since rotten bread. Like, I don't know. That doesn't matter. You are your own fucking person. You are somebody who is living their life the same time the other person is living their life. You're not a fucking terrible person. Figure it the fuck out and actually go ahead and do your thing afterwards. You will be able, so many times, often than not, be able to come back from whatever type of issues. And I feel like I just went on a whole tangent. But that's just on my heart right now. Like I just feel as if it's more helpful to get back from the setbacks or get back from whatever issue that's going on rather than continuing to let yourself like bring yourself back down. Build yourself back up. Don't break yourself back down. There's no need to do that. Genuinely do that, like making sure that you are able to come back from a certain setback or come back from a certain person's words or come back from anything in the world, being able to like try your best to actually come back from it. Because if you're sitting here and you're letting these thoughts continue to like destroy you, it's going to do nothing but that. And that is really all I have on that, because it's just not helpful. It's never going to be helpful, and you should never let that cloud the way that you believe or the way that you think about yourself, because it's not helpful. And it never has been and never will be. That's the reason why you're most likely still in the position that you are. You have constantly let yourself think all of these negative thoughts. And I feel like the reason why I'm saying all this is because I speak from experience. When I was younger, I genuinely felt like I was like a whole bunch of things. I'm not even gonna go into it, but I felt like I was like a terrible person, a terrible child, a terrible son, a terrible this, a terrible that. Like I felt all of those things. I had all those emotions, and I'm kind of at the point now where I'm like, nah, I ain't even a bad dude for real. I'm just chilling. I be existing for real. You know what I mean? Like I genuinely know how that feels to have all of these negative thoughts and all this type of stuff, and I'm not going to say entirely came back from those thoughts. I'm not going to say I don't ever have those thoughts ever again, but I know when I'm sitting here and beating myself up about it, I know in my heart that I'm way more than that. I know in my heart that I am definitely not any of my bad thoughts. I'm not going to let those bad thoughts define who I am, because I know that I've come back way more times than I've had the setbacks, because the setback only happens once. You can come back a million times, because that's really what matters. That is seriously what matters. Being able to sit there and be like, you know what, I'm chilling. I'm not going to let this setback deter me from being better. And I'll close out that whole thing with that. Well, actually, no, I'm going to close it out with this. The idea, and this is, I kind of took that whole thing that I just said and went into it in a different way, where the baseline of it is loving yourself and giving yourself compassion when those setbacks occur so that you can come back. And granted, I don't know your background. I don't know the person that is on the other end of this microphone into the headphones that you're listening to. I don't know who you are. I probably do know, but depending on who is listening to this podcast right now, I don't know what you've gone through in your life. But today can be the day that you get better from yesterday. Yesterday could have been the worst day of your life. Tomorrow can be your best. And today could be better than yesterday. But like I said, tomorrow could be your best day. And let's just say it doesn't end up being. There's the next day. And it's super hard to have that mentality when you're already in the mentality of, oh my God, I'm having the worst time in my life. I could do this, that, and the third. And I know that, but it's not, you don't have to make that into a reality. You don't have to make that into something that is going to ruin your life for the rest of your life. It's not helpful. It's not going to change anything other than what you end up doing with that information. If you feel like you are terrible in any way, shape, or form, and you try to fix that, and you don't try to fix that, it's not going to change. So, if you're listening to this right now, make the change. Like, you know what I mean? Like, make the change, and that'll end up being what helps you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's that. And just to move on a little bit, I wanted to also talk about the fact that change doesn't happen in a day. Because I can say all of that. I can make the change, but that change really doesn't happen in a day. Another quote that I actually found, which is from Nikki Giovanni, God rest her soul, who was a famous black author. I think she wrote poetry and all that type of stuff, but I'm also almost positive that I used a quote from her a while back, but the quote that I found was, a lot of people resist transition and therefore will never allow themselves to enjoy who they are. Embrace the change, no matter what it is. Once you do, you can learn about the new world you're in and take advantage of that. And the way that I interpreted that whole thing was, it's a transition period that you're going through, depending on whatever and this is all about the setbacks. That setback can transition you into a whole different mindset and a whole different way of living, and that's this, that, and the third. And a lot of people will resist that transition and say, "Oh, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. That shouldn't be the case. I don't want to change. I don't want to change, or this, that, and the third, or whatever like that." Like, it's not going to change. That's also a way that some people resist transition as well, by continuously saying it's not going to change. It's not going to change. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing. No. You constantly hearing this no in your mind all the time. So you're never allowing yourself to actually enjoy the yes. Yes, there is a way that you can change it. You have to find it. You can't continuously you can't, like, I don't know how to do it. Okay, then sit and figure it out. Change doesn't happen in a day. You're not going to be able to find a solution for this thing and have it be changed the exact next day. It's not like, you have an issue of figuring out, like you were younger and you have an issue of figuring out what 2 + 2 is, and you figured it out, and the next day, boom, that's your solution. No, it's 9 times out of 10, that is not the situation that you're in. Things do not change in that day. Things are going to change over a course of a period of time. You know what I'm saying? And actually, something that I thought about, which I typed here, was, it takes an hour to think about something that is about you that is bothersome, or think about a situation that is bothersome. People normally, if there's really something going on in their lives, people will take an hour or so, whatever. But it could take actual like years to actually make that situation that it is going on, or the thing about you that you're having an issue with. It could take days, weeks, months, years to actually make it better, and you need to handle it as time moves forward, and as you continue to handle that thing, as you continue to address those self-deprecating emotions and stop those things from constantly like overthrowing your mindset, the more that you actually like tend to it. It's like a tree. It's like a little plant. The first issue of a plant, like when there's a plant, is the ability to grow. It needs water in order to grow. It needs nutrients in order to grow. It needs sunlight in order to grow. It needs all of these different things that are going to be able to actually bring it into a new transition period where they're bigger, better, stronger. Like, come on now. Like, it makes, like, if you think about it in that way, it makes just so you understand, like, I understand the problem that's going on in my life. I understand the setback that I'm dealing with. Am I going to be able to get back from this setback? 100%. Everyone is able to get back from their setbacks. It can take as long as it needs to, but the problem is that you need to understand that and actually apply that. You need to understand that, you know what, I'm not going to be able to get that job right now. The job is not going to allow me to do it right now. I might not be able to get that thing that I always wanted right now. I might not be able to do this, that, and the third, but I am able to make incremental progress or make sudden changes in my life to make it so that I can get that. I am able to stop these negative thoughts in my mind that are constantly telling me that I'm not able to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. And after I do that, boom, I'm gonna be good. Granted, I understand that sometimes in real heat of the moments, you really want it to just change immediately. You want it to stop. You want it to stop. All of these thoughts in your mind that are constantly telling you, "Oh my God, it's just so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. I really want this to end. This is really bad. I really want something to change. I need something to give. Oh my God. Oh my God." The thing is, you need to give yourself way more time to process that. You need to give yourself time to get to the point where you're like, you know what? Okay. I'm at a setback right now. There's a problem going on. How am I going to sit here and attack the issue? Where am I going to start? What's plan A? What's plan A? Actually, no. Even more so, what is the plan? Do I have one? Can I make one? And the answer is always yes. That plan can change from moment to moment, from day to day, but there needs to be a plan. There needs to be a place where you start. And you can't just make it so that, oh, the moment that this issue happens, you just, I don't want to do anything now. You can have your moments. I ain't gonna lie. Something I'm about to start doing with myself, actually, and I implore anybody who is listening to this podcast right now to actually do this as well. I kind of want to get to a point where I give myself, let's be reasonable here, I might give myself 15 minutes or 30 minutes. I might give myself 30 minutes at that exact moment to wallow in self-pity, because sometimes you need to do that, beat myself up about it, do this, do that, give myself 15 minutes. Or, you know what, depending on the problem, give yourself maybe like 15 minutes, maybe max 2 hours. If it really is bothering you to that point, max 2 hours. After that, or even after the day after it happens, after that, figure out a way to fix it. Don't do that. I don't know. Don't do that. Because I don't know is just a short way of saying, no, I'm not going to fix it. Because it's something that is happening right now, and I don't want to be bothered with it. I don't want to be bothered with it. And that's not healthy. And I'm saying that as a man who normally says it is what it is. But the point is, you will find results as you take the time to have those, like as you take the time to get better at it, or to get better in general. Because, and this is another thing that I said, I can't work out for one day and expect to be bodybuilder status. I can't expect to have amazing triceps, amazing muscles. Oh my God, I'm this strong. I can't expect that within a day. I can't expect that within 4 hours of working out. It's going to take constant work. It takes some people literal years to lose weight. Apply that to losing that issue. It's going to take you a long amount of time to do that. It's going to take you time to get that success. You just need to do it incrementally. You have to take it bit by bit, small by small, and you'll be able to get there. And that's the whole thing. It's the journey that matters. The actual destination, that's of course the goal. But how are you going to get to that goal? How are you going to go from plan A to plan B? I mean plan A to plan B, but you get what I'm saying. How are you going to get to plan A from how are you going to get from plan A to plan B? How are you going to do that? Are you going to sit here and wallow in self-pity the entirety rest of your life and say that you're not going to be able to fix it because there's nothing to change it? I hope the answer is no. Now, granted, there are so many different like little things to that, you know what I'm saying, depending on the situation, there's a fair argument, obviously. But in some way, shape, or form, you can figure out a way to turn it around for yourself. It might be hard as hell to figure that out at that exact moment, but after you get out of that moment, try to figure it out. Try to figure it out. That's honestly, that is the only way that is going to be able to change. You will find your results. Just worry about the process in the meantime. You're going to get there. You're going to get there. You are going to get there. And I can say from experience that there is always a way to get to the end. There's always a way to get to your results. The issue arises when you don't allow yourself to grow from that. If you don't allow yourself to grow from that, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get, and I'm going to say it this way, you're not going to get to the tallest heights. You're not going to get to the tippy top of Mount Everest if you don't first put your boots on. You're not going to be able to do it. Because somewhere, some way, you not having them boots on is going to be the reason why you fall back down to the bottom. And you'll get hurt. You'll get hurt from that setback. But once you put them boots on, once you put that jacket on, them gloves, all those different things, you grab your camping gear, not camping gear, but you grab your stuff in order to get to where you need to be. You start going bit by bit, give yourself breaks in between and all that type of stuff. Once you're able to get to that point, you will be able to get there in time. In time, you will be able to do literally anything. And that is my point with this entire episode. So genuinely, if you guys are struggling with something, I really, really, really want you guys to give yourself that time to process it. Of course, always give yourself time to process what's going on. Give yourself 5 minutes and be like, hold on, let me relax. And I'm talking about giving yourself the 5 minutes after you have the initial reaction. Because the initial reaction is going to happen out of spite because that's emotions. It's the moment something happens, it hits like that. Once that happens, and once you're able to sit down and really think it over and process the whole thing, give yourself 5 minutes. I'm talking set a timer for 5 minutes. Set a 5 minute timer. Come back to 0. You were just at 100. Actually, no. You're just at 100. Come to 50. Or if you're not able to immediately come back down, come to 95. Try your best to get to 85. Try your best to get to 60. Sit at 50 for a little minute. And at 50, try to figure out why it happened and try to figure out what you can do to get out of that, to make it so that that thing doesn't happen again. Motivate yourself to get to the point where you are able to do that and keep going. It's a struggle at first. That's why I said 95 at first. But once you get to 95, that you can obviously get to 80. Once you get to 95, you can get to 85. Then after that, you can get to 75 for real. Then try to get to 50. Get to 50. In any other way of life, 50 is terrible. But when it comes to managing your setbacks, when it comes to coming back and being a better person than where you were, get to that 50 by increments. Don't just try to immediately, oh my God, I was so angry, and then immediately get to 50. That's not going to happen, because it's going to go right back to up to 100. Come back down slowly. Level yourself out at 50. And once you're able to do that, you'll be able to do quite literally anything. And like Nikki Giovanni said, once you embrace that change, once you embrace giving yourself time to heal from whatever it is, or just breathe from what's going on, no matter what it is, you can learn about the world that you're in and take advantage of that moment. And the way to do that is to get to 50 and then figure it out. And I hope everyone who's listening to this podcast episode right now can figure out whatever is going on with them, with their lives, and get better from it. And honestly, that is the most important thing in this life, because this life is short, and the more that you end up beating yourself over about it over and over again, it's simply not going to work. So I hope anyone who's listening to this podcast right now actually just give themselves time to come back to 1 or come back to 50. Relax. You have time. You have a lot of time. If you're listening to this podcast right now, you're most likely maybe somewhere around my age. You might even be a little bit older. Who knows? But I encourage anyone who's listening right now to get to a point where you can get back up from the setbacks. Come back from the setbacks. Because if you're able to do that, you're able to do anything. And I stand 100% by that statement. If you're able to get back, you're able to get anything done. I'm currently working on it myself. And this isn't me just saying that from the highest of highs. I'm currently a college student trying to make sure that I graduate. And that is honestly the setback in my situation was my own thought process in saying that I wasn't worth being able to go to college or worth being able to do this, that, and the third. Whole time, 4 years later, I'm about to walk out of this joint. And I feel like that means something. So I hope whoever is listening to this podcast right now just understands what I'm saying, gets a little bit of something from this, and can put that into their own lives. Because I know I'm still young. I'm 22, so I have a lot more to learn in my life. But from what I've learned so far, with the people that have raised me to know the information that I know or think the way that I do, it's beneficial. And I hope anyone who's listening believes the same thing as well. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening to this audio diary of mine. Please make sure to go over to the Zoom Out podcast on Instagram and, just enjoy yourselves with my content that I end up making eventually. please give me feedback on how you guys are enjoying the podcast. I'm on episode 19, which is crazy, and I've only missed maybe 2 episodes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. This has been Vaughn Johnson Baptiste, Zoom Out Radio, Zoom Out Podcast. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and make sure that you guys get to 50. And I'll end it off there. Y'all have a great one. Peace.